told me. It's right along the wall here. The place we are in is the financial district. The financial district is an official planning district. So it has a legal boundary within which you can build very large buildings. Once you go outside of it, the densities drop dramatically. That was instituted in the 1970s. It was a response to the climate with developers and city planners and the city council pushing for renewal, revitalization, modernization, and a huge office development boom ran through the 1960s into the early 1970s. Part of the boom was the so-called Toronto Dominion Centre, named after the Toronto Dominion Bank, one of the 5 large Canadian banks. And the bank building the very elaborate building, and the bank needed more space. The city planners got the bank together with the Seagram industrial money, whiskey money from Montreal, and so you have industrial capital going into real estate, classical David Harvey stuff. Didn't work in this situation. And the Seagram people had a connection to Mies van der Rohe through their Park Avenue building in New York. So Mies came here, and this is really a copy of something that was already built in Chicago, a slightly smaller scale. To build that, the museum wasn't supporting the architecture without a flag of all the modernist planning. And you know the style of architecture without modernist For me, it's implemented land segregation, eyes on the street. We want a lively city everywhere, not just during business hours. But the other issue was the preservation of older buildings. That became a big issue, and this is why I put this display into your brochure, and it shows the site across the street where the Silver Tower is. You probably recognize this tower here, very plain, designed by Boston and it shows several generations of buildings on that site from the beginning of Toronto in the 70s, well, started in the 1790s here, but the house is from the 1820s, and it goes on with buildings becoming bigger and more specialized. And of course the people of Toronto, at least the noisy people, said we want to preserve our old buildings, but they didn't specify which generation of buildings. But as long as they weren't modernist, as long as they were the old office, anything else was okay. When you go on, you will see the contrast. Three is the boundary between the financial district and 2 other planning districts. One we go into, which is on this side of the major street, King Street. It's called Downtown West. But northwest of here is the Kings Spadina district. And you see the boundary in the landscape. Big glass tower, and here brick buildings, 4 to 6 stories from the time around 1910.
Across the street.
The
financial institution across the street.
Yeah, it's a Presbyterian church. Presbyterian Scottish. The one whose flag flies up there. The church is interesting because it has no more congregation here. So the few people who hang on have financial problems. So they sold their development rights across the street. And some residential density was transferred from there to that tower, The church signed a contract with the city that it will maintain the buildings, it's called building, and development there for next it's an official development rights transfer scheme which we copied from Chicago. You can see the museum connection from Chicago, New York City.
You can preserve the church as long as you enclose it so no one can see it.
Now, this is goodness personified. Yeah. This was a tinware factory, and the owner was very careful. Owner is very kind because there's the whole history of the tinware company there. A very great consciousness of the history. The tinware company, an Altoronto company, which became Continental Can, and then, or Continental Can bought it, and Continental shut it down. So this was one of these classically disused buildings that needed to be revitalized. And we fell into the hands of the daughter of a prominent Toronto architect. Very conservative man of German origin, always doing things for the conservative government, provincial government, including the Eden Center gallery. Anybody wants to go shopping for the Eden Center, there's a huge gallery at this time. And his daughter, presumably with family money, bought this and renovated it very carefully. She maintained all the window sashes, and on the more complex windows, which had wooden window mountains, she used to have all the window panes and everything restored. In most of these renovations, you take out the window with a big one sheet of glass. And then she went out, actually,